Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Bitcoin Chris checking in yet again. Happy Monday. We're in June. How are we in June? How is it June already? This is crazy. We'll make sure audio good. Make sure everything's good. Hit that like, share, subscribe. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Hope you had a good weekend. We're going to be jumping into a few different things here, but I got to make sure that this audio is good before I continue because, anytime I be trying to drop gems for you guys or, you know, yo, yo, yo. All right, audio is good. Perfect. So, happy Monday. Bitcoin Chris checking in. I've been telling you guys for the last almost a year now. Coming up, I think it'll be 3, 4 months until it's been a year for you guys to start studying, learn your rights, learn about the law. You know, you're supposed to know the law anyway, right? Because if you get in trouble for breaking the law, they gonna tell you what? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So therefore, you need to know the law, right? You should know the law in general. I know a lot of us don't have time because we're too busy working, right? Working a 9 to 5, trying to pay these bills when the bills are already prepaid because it says to repay something. And in order for you to repay something, something must already be paid, right? Another story. We're not going to jump into that today, but we are going to talk about a few things that I want to, that's been on my mind here lately. So again, happy Monday. Head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin. Chris, time is zooming by. Time is just zooming by. What is time? Time is not even real. So with that being said, head over to swanbitcoin.com/Bitcoin. Chris, get $10 free Bitcoin. Shout out to Swan. Shout out to everybody in the space. Get your Fold card if you have not yet. You're gonna pay for things anyway. Utilize that Fold card, and there's also a credit card that they have coming up as well. So instead of getting cash back, get Sats back. Sats back is better than cash back. All right, cool. All right. Also, you should already know that there's a brand new course that I have out, helping you to defend or sue. Right, and it's a really really in depth course that I have put together for you guys because I have been tried and tested, right? And I've been going through the court. I've been suing. I have been sued, right? So I know what to do, right? And before I was just like you, right? If you get served with some papers, you don't even know the first thing to do, right? You don't even know where to start. When you get sued with papers, they're using legalese. They're using words that you don't even understand, right? And then on top of that, again, you're probably working a job. You have 100 other things going on. So the worst thing that you can do is actually ignore a summons or ignore a lawsuit, right? Because they will win by default, which is why I keep trying to help you guys because I am doing other things on the side, but I think it's very important that I at least try because that's all I can do, right? Same thing with the Bitcoin and spreading the message, right? All I can do is try to give you guys the information to help you understand that you have rights and that you can defend yourself and that you don't need to be a lawyer to know the law or to file paperwork. Because that's pretty much all you're doing is responding and filing paperwork. So it would be a huge disservice to you guys if I knew how to defend, how to sue, how to protect myself, if I knew and learned all these laws because I've been reading, right? If I were to do all these things and not share it with you guys and, tell you guys what's up, then that would be, like I said, a huge disservice because why would I not share that information when I know a lot of people are going through the same thing, right? You're going through people probably being sued for debt collections or people being sued by the banks or whatever the case may be, right? Foreclosures help you guys out with defense. I can help you guys with those things, but you have to understand what's going on at the end of the day, right? Because you're the one who's going to have to stand up in court and fight for your rights, right? Because if you don't fight for your rights or stand up for your rights, they're going to continue to do what they've been doing, which is bulldozering you, getting off on us, taking advantage of your ignorance, right? And in the Bible, it says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." And the reason why we're in the situation that we're in is because we don't read and that, we don't have the knowledge, right? And applied knowledge is power, not just knowledge. You have to apply that knowledge and that information. So, with that being said, new course out. I have a new private. So we have. I've been helping people out with their credit pretty much for the last 5 years. Shout out to God for helping me to even have a business for that long, right, and to be successful in the business. So all praise to the Most High. But now that's like a public service that I've been promoting and helping people out. Moving forward, it's going to be included into the private member association. So once you join our private member association, if you want to join, that is, it's going to not only come with credit restoration, you're going to be able to learn and get the documents for uh, motions, and you get to learn. You're actually going to get the course included if you join the private member association, or if you join the course, you're automatically enrolled into the private member association. Because we want you guys to get into this community where you can learn, right? Because we're going to be going over trust. Creating a trust is not hard, guys, and it's just paperwork, right? A lot of things that we have to understand. A lot of things are paperwork, right? And before we get into the Bitcoin price, which is very important, I just need to get these things off my mind, right? I want to get you guys this information because it's very important and imperative that you learn and understand what's really going on, right? You issue and sign a promissory note, which is what's going to give you the loan, the house, the car, et cetera, right? Even the credit card. If you are signing a piece of paper and then they give you the credit, you're able to do the same thing. Sign a piece of paper, right? A specific way, issue that back, and it should cancel out what you received. It's very simple. If you signed a piece of paper and it gave you credit, you should sign a piece of paper and give the same credit back. It's very simple. A lot of people overcomplicate it. It's simple, but it's not easy. But I'm trying to simplify it for you guys so that way it just makes sense, right? Because if you don't sign, everything is based on your signature, guys. You can't even go and buy a car cash without you needing to fill out the paperwork. Why is that? Because the asset is the paperwork, guys. And that's what I've been trying to get you guys to understand. The paperwork is the asset. It is not the house. It's not the car, right? It's not the credit card. It's the paper, because the paper can be securitized and then they can make money off it, right? They count it as a deposit. Once they do the deposit, they do fractional reserve banking. Once they do fractional reserve banking, they can transfer it into the trust and securitize it to other. They transfer it to the trust and then they can securitize it and sell it to investors, right? Asset backed securities, excuse me, and mortgage backed securities. I know it's legal jargon and it's something that even when I first heard it, I'm like, who got time to learn this, right? But you better have time to learn this or else you're going to be a slave, right? You're going to continue to be a slave if you don't learn this. Anyways, and then like, share, subscribe. Just a little bit of information on that, guys. And, you know, I just want you guys to better yourself. And when you join the private member association, I have, you're going to be in Discord basically with all the information that I've learned. We're going to give you the information on how to fix your credit, or we're going to be fixing your credit for you. We're also going to be doing, again, trust setup, right? Because you need to set up a trust because it's just paperwork, right? And it's just a private contract, and the government cannot interfere with private contract. Very important. So that's very powerful if you understand how the law works, right? If you understand that a private contract, which is a trust, can't be interfered with the government, then you have oh, then you have no worries. I ain't got no worries. My gimbal died. They ain't gimbal. She's gonna give out on me like that. Yes, it did. All right. So, anyways, let me take off the camera anyway because I don't need to be on camera anyway. We about to look at the Bitcoin price, Bitcoin price, Bitcoin price. Let me go ahead and open that up so y'all don't have to see me anyway. Cool. Boom. Thanks, Gimbal. Dropping on me. Anyways, let's continue. So, anyways, like I was saying, guys, you want to make sure that you're setting up trust. Very important, very, very powerful information. And you definitely want to, especially if you have a family, right? You don't want to not have a trust. You don't want to not have everything set up in the private, because again, the public is going to allow. When you have a will and you don't have any of these things set up, you give the government the opportunity to dig up in your business and to have probate. I've gone over all this all before. So we just want to make things a little bit better for you, easier for you, and set you up to where not only it's something that you should have already learned, especially if if you're over the age of 30, in my opinion, you need to have a trust. You need to understand what's going on with contract law. It's certain things after a certain age that you should know, and I think it's imperative that not only do you fix your credit, but it's also imperative that you have a trust and that you learn the law and you operate accordingly. So with that being said, you can join the private group. I actually pull it up here. I'll pull it up here for you guys. Boom. So it's Premium Wealth Solutions. We're going to give you the legal and financial armor for life's biggest battles: credit, legal defense, legal offense as well, legacy planning, and asset protection. Very powerful, dope information that's going to change your life if you, again, understand the power of assets asset protection as far as trust goes, and the opportunities that lay at hand and how much power is in a private contract. So, yep. So it's pws88.card.co. You can join and pay monthly, or you can join early bird special, because I really haven't been promoting it too much. But if you join the early bird special, you'll get the lifetime membership, probably 50% off, which is amazing. Because again, you go to a lawyer, try to get a trust set up, they're going to charge you 5-10 grand. They're going to knock your head off. You try to go to a lawyer to help you with your legal battles, they're going to charge you 2 grand just to get you on retainer, just to look at your case. So it's a lot of things that a lot of people aren't financially able to do. So it's a much more affordable yet effective way, and a better way to ensure that you're protecting yourself legally and setting up your assets to be protected, and then planning for the future, as adults should be doing, right? excuse me, as all adults should be doing. So, with that being said, let's jump right into the Bitcoin price. The Bitcoin price. As you can see here, we're on the 2 hour time frame. Let's go back in time a little bit here because you know I had this trade up. We did not hit the target. We actually came up to 2 point almost 3%. So we only made about 3%. And then we started to reverse lower high. So this is a high. This is a lower high, right? Well, let's see. Lower high right here. This would be your lower high. Came down into the support area that I drew a while ago, right? You guys should remember. Came up, lower high, dropped with the red dot here on Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Dropped into the support level, broke support, dropped again to the second level of support that I had drawn. Came even lower, 103. Bounced up into support, which now became resistance twice. Rejected here. As you guys can see, rejected here. Zoom in a little bit for you guys. I know it can be a little bit small. Rejected here. Came down, bounced off to 20. Rejected twice. Came down. So this could be your double bottom. One higher low as well. And we're looking at market cipher as well. Let's see what market cipher has to say about this. Money flow in the red, so that should have been your indication that we was going to sell off. So let's go right here. Boom. Let's change that to red. And then let's zoom out real quick before we look at what's going on here. But we have green dots, but we have money flow in the red, so that's not good. All right, so boom, we have money flow in the red is right here. So this would be, let me clean this up here because there's a lot going on here. Haven't been on the charts in a while, as you guys can see, because I don't really change anything. I do everything online with you guys. Excuse me. So here we are. All right, cool. So make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe. Only here to help and show you guys what's up and give you my POV of things. So make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe. All right, so cool. Boom. You have your higher low here again. And then you have, this would be like your double top, you could say. Boom, double top. Right? You go into the money flow into the red here. Double top. And then from there, the rest is history, right? Down. So here we're at support. Green dot. However, we're money flows in the red. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But I think we should head higher. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Red dot. Excuse me, red diamond on 4 o'clock this morning. This could be like a, this looks kind of bear flaggish. If that's the case, I'm going to assume it would be around here, right? But I'll do the, look at that. So I'm expecting, so this is support. So heads up, guys. This is your early warning, Doppler 9,000. If we lose where we're at now, we are going to come down lower to the $95,000 level. So as you guys can see, and then we'll come back and check like I always do, right? We'll come back and check in time and see if I'm right or wrong. We're gonna have to wait and see, because I could be 100% wrong, right? But based on my analysis here, we could even come down and retest all the way down to 93. So 95 to 93 would be my target. for a correction if we do lose the level of 103. We lose 103, we're coming down. So you should be excited because this is your opportunity to what? DCA. So June is your time to DCA and get Bitcoin discounted if we are going to head lower. However, looking at the 4 hour time frame, again, we have red money flow here on the 4 hour time frame. So on the 2 hour, it was here. 4 hour, it's here. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. But this could be a double bottom, and we could definitely head right back up. Let's do some fibs, guys. Let's do some fibs. Fibs to the upside, fibs to the downside. So fibs to the upside, we're gonna look at 108, and fibs to the downside, we're gonna look at. We're looking at 100,000. 100,000 is the first level. Then look at that, 91.618, 97,000. So look at that. Lines right up with the bear flag, right? Lines right up with a few support levels here. So I'm expecting around 96, 97 and 95. If we, liquidation start cascading, then of course we could definitely come down and slap up all the longs. We're going to look at coin glass in just a moment to see what's going on as well. So all these things are starting to look. Do you see how I'm evaluating and doing my TA? I'm using support and resistance. I'm using, obviously, I'm using Fibonacci retracements. And so, and just regular patterns, right? Following the patterns. So TA can be a great tool to utilize for DCA. So if I were you, I would DCA around these levels. I would DCA no matter what the price of Bitcoin is, to be honest with you. So there's that. Let's look at the daily time frame. Daily is looking, if we can get a, yeah, this does not look good on the daily. Should be your triple top. 1, 2, 3. This is not good. Not looking good on the daily, but we still got money flowing to green, so we're actually do look good. But we are probably going to come down a little bit lower, like I said, before we start to do something like this, right? We're probably going to do, and then a green dot will pop, and if a green dot pops up here, then that will be the next leg up, right? So that is the TA for BTC MSTR. We're going to look at that real quick. MSTR looks good on the daily, that is. It is under the 20, but this does also look bear flaggish. So be aware, if we lose this level right here, you're being warned. DCA. Excuse me. Support is still that. I already drew these lines, right? I already told you guys what the support is. So be on the lookout for that. We'll also draw a support line here. Boom. So be on the lookout for MSTR, MSTY. Let's look at Misty. We have a green dot on Misty. We have a double bottom on Misty. Oh, this is daily. And we came right back to entry level. Almost down right to entry level. Green dot on the daily for Misty, so that's looking pretty good. Again, if you guys are interested in Misty, it's an opportunity to cash flow. Great opportunity to do so. Looking for a 70 to 100% return on this long term. Great opportunity again to level up. As you can see, a little bit of a bullish divergence here. Boom, boom, head it up. Boom. We're gonna have to wait and see. All right, so that's Misty. Let's look at the DXY. What's the dollar doing? Oh, look at that. Bear flag drawn, down, came up, rejected, rejected. Again, I have the alert set here already, but looks like we're going to be headed down for the dollar, which is great for assets. All right, so that's good. Let's hope DXY continues to falter. Continue to sink. All right. Let's go jump into Coin Glass. We're gonna have to wait and see. All right, so that's all right, cool. Want to make sure audio was Gucci. Audio was still Gucci. So here we are on Coin Glass, and now we're gonna jump down to the last 30 days. We're looking at the liquidation map. We have longs to be clapped, 16 billion at 92,000, which lines up along the lines of the lower price range that we just did TA on. So now you can see in conjunction with what the charts are telling us, we can also see where the leverage is at, right? So now you know that that level that I said 95 to 92, right? Or 97 to like 92-ish area is in conjunction with what? The liquidations on the long side, 16 billion. And then, like I said this a week, like I said this last week, I was like, do you guys think that will dump for the Bitcoin conference? And, it pumped for the few days and then it proceeded to dump. So it did happen. And I also mentioned that we're probably going to head down lower first because there are so many longs before it goes higher. So again, don't be surprised if we head down to 92,000 before heading higher. Market, book market. Then we have the shorts getting clapped up 12 billion at 116, 12.85 billion, and we have 16 billion on the longs. Shorts 12.85, longs 16.5 billion dollars in shorts. So there's a lot of leverage that's going to need to be washed out because they don't want you guys making that money. I need to check my position. My positions are still up. Actually, it's just crazy. Um, but I do know if it does come down lower, then I'm going to open up a new trade. So that's that. I'm sure Bitcoin on exchanges are low as time ever, right? We don't really need to look at that, but if we and I can never find it, right? Yeah. So, anyways, cool, boom. So let's jump into some tweets here because I got some tweets I want to go over here. Hit that like, share, subscribe. Jump into these tweets real quick. Hit that like, share, subscribe. All right, cool. As I was talking about earlier, right? What I was mentioning earlier, the bank gave me my own credit, right? When you signed, the bank gave you your own credit when you signed a promissory note. Then they fractional reserve bank and or sell it to investors bundled via asset-backed securities. I can lawfully tender payment and create a private promissory note to settle the obligations or use credits from the original promissory note to settle the obligation. Is that correct? Yes, that is 100% correct based on facts and conclusions of law, not opinions. Here's step-by-step legal breakdown on how to support your exact statement. So everything that I'm saying to you is not it sounds far-fetched because we haven't learned this, right? Just like when you didn't learn about money and how money really works, and when you first heard about Bitcoin, it sounded weird, right? Well, it's the same thing when you learn about what's really going on behind the scenes with your negotiable instruments or your promissory notes, which is your bank accounts, your um, you're providing an asset, right? So that includes your credit cards, car loan, regular loan, mortgage. Let's continue. Metaplanet buys 1,088 Bitcoin worth 114 million. Now they now hold 8,888. Let's go. That's an abundance number worth $930 million worth of Bitcoin. Excellent. Um, 300 Bitcoin that got donated to Ross Albright. British says to sell them, pay taxes, and I don't agree with this at all. But we're gonna go over it. Sell them, pay the IRS its taxes. Buy it. I don't get why you would do that. Buy it back 200. I guess you could if you wanted to. I don't know why you would sell all of it though. But anyways, let's just read this. Take the 300 you got, sell them, pay the IRS its tax. No, you're not paying the IRS nothing, bro. Buy back 200 Bitcoin and put 20 into Misty. 2 million, free and clear, government approved Bitcoin wealth. The Misty position will make you 100,000 a month at 5% a month. Keep the other donations paused. 21 million in Bitcoin and 2 million in Misty. No further scrutiny. Okay, so let me. So again, I mean, there's different strategies for different people and different folks, but again, once you learn how contracts work, and once you learn what trust property can, like, once you learn the power of a trust, there is no reason for you to be paying tax. And taxes is voluntary, okay? It's voluntary, and I don't know how many times you got to say it, but it's okay, man. Not everybody's gonna have to. Not everybody is meant to opt out and be out of the matrix. You're gonna be a slave and a sheep as long as you're gonna be a slave and a sheep. Nothing we can do about that, right? So what I said was no. You want to convey your assets into the church trust, because there's no taxes in the church trust. Have your trust own the Misty, right? Boom. So you can then have the church own Misty. If you are going to sell through the church and then have the church then buy Misty and then pay out each month with no tax. Because again, it's a 508c1a private church trust. Your church trust can take care of its members and the trustee. Therefore, any revenue, any cash flow can be used lawfully to take care of the church members, including the trustee. Therefore, the money can be used to pay for whatever is needed to take care of the church members, right? And by you doing it this way, you don't have to worry about taxes. It's very simple, guys. A lot of people overcomplicate things. It's not that deep. Sheesh. Marvel versus Capcom. If y'all know this game, if you know, you know, right? If you know, you know. This game was classic. Epic classic game. Here we are 15 hours ago. Is this the daily time frame that I showed you guys? Yep, daily. So went over that. We're gonna have to go down. We're gonna have to go down in the timeline because again, I haven't gone live in a minute. If you do want to join the course, soon defend like a pro course. It's not some fly by night course, right? This is a real in-depth course where you're learning about secure party status, what that actually means, not a pro se, not pro. Because you can operate pro se, but there's a better way, right? Subtle differences, big changes. Um, Special limited appearance, right? Feeling powerless. No, we're not gonna have you feeling powerless no more. Win without a lawyer. Get help with the AI. I'm gonna teach you how to utilize AI, right, to make sure that you're doing everything 100% correct. Telling you how you have, to follow the legal frameworks and to not miss your deadlines and to just make sure you're doing what you can do on your end, right? So you guys can join that just by clicking that link. I need to add it to my link tree, but you have to, if you are in a position where you want to sue or you need to defend, you can A, hire us to help you, or B, you can do it yourself. So I'm just giving you guys the tools and the opportunity, the options, and the information out there that you can utilize to help yourself. Or again, if you want to learn this and then help other people or help anybody in your family, right? Then that's dope as well, right? Because it's not just about you; it's about your family, it's about your friends, it's about helping humanity, right? Because we're all brothers and sisters through Christ. Using debt notes to pay a debt is irrational. Let's see what Grok got to say about that. Yes, the post critiques concept of debt notes, likely referring to fiat currencies or IOUs used to settle debts. Let me ask chat. Let me see. So is the Federal Reserve? See, this is what I'm saying. You got to know your stuff. If the Federal Reserve, so are the Federal Reserve notes? So are Federal Reserve notes promises to pay? That's the question. Yo, I didn't ask all that, man. Yes or no? And are they debt notes? It's still going on. Okay, boom. Yo, it gave me this whole long ass. We don't need to. That's cap. This note is legal tender for all debts, private and public. Since the U.S. abandoned the gold standard, they're no longer redeemable for gold or under assets. They are payment itself, not a promise to pay something else later on. I disagree. They're debt notes. Okay, so that's the whole point. It's a debt note. So if it's a debt note, then you're not paying it. That's the whole point. See, this is why you got to know what you're talking about. Our Federal Reserve debt notes. Yes, they're debt notes. So exactly, it goes back to the whole entire post. Paying a debt with a debt is irrational. You don't settle a debt by paying it with a debt. The only way to settle a debt is with credit. Does that make sense? I hope it does. We're not going to go into it. We're not going to go into it. We went over the definition of person. God is not a respecter of persons. What's the legal definition of a person? Corporation. The legal fiction. You're a living man or woman. And until you understand that, you're subject to taxes. You're subject to being uh, a 14th Amendment person with privileges or quote unquote rights, but we're given unalienable rights given to us by God. So let's continue. Let's continue. Saylor was talking about dynasty trust in his presentation. 21 ways to, I forgot the name of his thing, but number two is conviction. Bitcoin will appreciate faster than every other asset because it's engineered to outperform. Powerful. And you would only know this if you did your due diligence and studied, right? So when you see everybody else talking about all these other things, it's like, these people don't got no clue. But again, I'm happy we're early. We're early. Be happy that you're early. We got Happy Gilmore 2 coming out. Say what? I'm excited. I'm excited to see that. I love Adam Sandler. Let's see. Year of the Bible. Year of the lawsuit. Year of the Bible. Helping some clients out with their credit here. Persons. Here it is right here. That's what I be telling. Yo, I be trying to tell y'all, man. Listen up. Very important. Supreme Court of the United States, 1795. Inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, abstraction, and the creation and the creature of the mind only. A government can only interface with other artificial persons. That's why I keep telling you guys that your legal fiction, all caps name, is your business for you to do commerce and to interface with other corporations or persons. You need a corporation to interface and interact and transact and do commerce with other persons, aka corporations. Hope this is making sense. The imaginary having neither actual nor substance is foreclosed from creating or attaining parity with the tangible. The legal manifestation of this is that no government, as well as any law, agency, aspect, or etc., can concern itself with anything other than corporate, artificial persons and the contracts between them. Powerful. And God is not a respecter of persons, right? You have to understand what's really going on. And the Bible, I know y'all don't. I know some of y'all just don't really even rock with the Bible or don't believe in God. But there's God and God we trust on the dollar that we use. But yeah, I don't know which God they talking about, right? It could be the other, could be the little G, right? Who knows, right? But either way, when you go to court, they tell you to put your hand on the what? Bible, right? Donald Trump right here got sworn into office. What do you have to do? Put his hand on the what? Bible. Or and then he was talking about he's over here talking about what? He's talking about the Constitution and the Bible, right? Right? So let's continue. The practice of law cannot be licensed. So anybody telling you that you need a license to practice law is an idiot, right? And tell them to shut it up, right? And then you go here and you say, well, guess what, buddy? Guess what, bucko? The practice of law is an occupation of common right. Because what appears to be lawful, a lawful command on the surface, many citizens, because of their respect for what appears to be law, are coerced, yeah, into waiving their rights due to ignorance. What did I just say at the beginning of this live stream? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And if you think you need a license to know the law, then you are subject to you're subject to whatever it is. How do you know how if you don't know the law, then how would you know if what they're telling you is right or wrong? Statutes are not law. Codes are not law. Statutes and codes are not law. Hence the word statutes and codes. Let's continue. Just to put the icing on the cake for a license, right? No state shall convert a liberty into a license and charge a fee for it. That goes with knowing the law. Why do you need a license to know the law? You don't. Okay, very simple. You don't need a license to travel. You need a license to drive. You don't need a license to get married, but you guys do it anyway. You don't need a license to carry a firearm. You have the right to bear arms. So why do you need? If you have a right to do it, then why are you getting a license to do it? If you have a right to travel freely, why do you get a license to do it? If you have a right and we have dominion over the land and sea and the air, right? As God ordained, why do you need a license to fish? I hope this is starting to make sense. I hope this is like I hope you're like, damn, that makes sense. Because it does make sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me. If you have a right to do something, you don't need a license to do it. unless you're trading your rights for privileges. And then when you trade your rights for privileges, you're being governed by a governing body that doesn't have your best interests at heart and just really wants to control you because you don't know and understand or are ignorant of the law, which is like 95% of the country. I would say 98% of the country. There can be no sanctions or penalty imposed upon me because of the exercise of the constitutional rights. There can be no sanctions or penalty imposed upon me because of my exercise of the constitutional rights. And here it is. If a state converts a right means a guarantee, into a privilege, the citizen can ignore the license and fee and engage in the right with impunity. So if they try to lock, because y'all be seeing y'all. A lot of y'all like to, that's why I don't even be on Twitter or X or on social media because the IQ level of a lot of you people is so low. It's like it doesn't even, it like reading the comments be lowering my IQ. So I'm like, yo, I can't even read these comments, right? Because you'll get cops that are 1,000% in the wrong, have a power trip, and don't know the law and will violate your rights. And then you'll have idiots in the comments of a video saying stupid stuff and they're both wrong and they think that they're right. That's the thing I can't stand the most, right? Is when you have a whole bunch of idiots thinking that they're loud and they're thinking that they're right and they're wrong. It's just funny. So again, so if you think that if you because again, if you don't know your rights, then of course you're gonna be subject to whatever they tell you, right? But if you know your rights, then you can stand up for your rights, and then you can say, hey, you can't convert my right into a privilege, right? And if you do, I can continue without the license or the fees and engage in the right with impunity. So if you guys, I can travel without getting in trouble even though you may take me about the car and try to tow my vehicle or try to cause damage, or the cop may be having a bad day and he has on his power trip, right, and he wants to do whatever it is that he wants to do, right? Hey, congratulations. Huh? On a call, guys, give me 1 second, give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking.
So I say better days. Hope he break me out my shell. I'm trying to spread my wings. Trying to fly away, do better things. I remember all them days they told me that I can't, yeah. Ain't nobody more important to me. She said she feeling me, but right now I'm just trying to eat. Right now I'm just focused on that chicken. My nigga hit me up, he told me Melly stand on business, yeah. My nigga hit me up, he told me Melly stand on business.
I'm on my journey, nothing can hurt me. I'm from the ghetto, where we had to heavy metal. Yeah, nothing can stop me. Haters ain't watching. I'm from the ghetto, where we had to heavy metal. Yeah, nothing concerns me. I'm on my journey. I'm from the ghetto, yeah. Where we had so heavy metal. I can see it from afar, enemy lurking. Can't stop my purpose. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal, yeah.
Coming from the 407, riding on the highway to hell. You better watch out. We shut them down, open up shop. Yeah. They don't mean they don't play, don't play. You know how it goes down, standing 10 toes down.
Yeah.
Being stripes in the deep, but I ain't right. That's my life, and it is my time. Baby on my grind, she's always on my mind.
I'm on my journey, nothing can hurt me. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal. Yeah, nothing can stop me. Haters ain't watching. I'm from the ghetto, where we had so heavy metal. Yeah.
All right, we back. We back. My bad. I had a call. Had a call come in. Had to take that call. So my bad. All right, let's continue. I think y'all get the point, right? Y'all should get the point by now. There's no There's no license for you to drive. I mean, there's no license for you to travel. You do need a license to drive, right? Especially if you are considered a citizen versus a living man, right? We're just gonna keep it at living man. Some people are too stupid to appreciate the value of information and education. Absolutely. They got the Bitcoin bad gas. All right, let's continue. Meta rejects shareholder proposal to add Bitcoin to the treasury. Good. They're going to buy at the price they deserve. So good. Continue to ignore it, and you will suffer. You get Bitcoin the price you deserve. It's all good. Who cares? Who cares? AI is AI is making universal basic income a necessity. I wanted to go over this real quick with you guys, real quick. They have been. When did Andrew Yang? Man, let's go ahead and do this, man. All right, so he was running for president back in 2020, right, or along those time for the 2020 campaign, right? So boom, I say that to say this, right? They already know what's happening. I've been telling you guys the same things over and over again. Nobody listens, but it's fine. I don't care. I'm ahead of my time. I'm aware of this. I'm already aware that a lot of things that I say it's high level, and a lot of majority of the people are not going to understand what I'm saying until it's here. As this happened time and time and time and time again. If it's one or two times, okay, he's lucky. No, I know what I'm talking about. I know what's going on. I have discernment. I have the spirit of God in me. I know what's going on. I have great, great, great discernment, great intuition. I know what's going on. For those of you that listen and pay attention, good. I'm happy for you. Those that don't, I don't care. Right. So let's continue. They have been telling us in the movies for years AI is coming, right? You have Elon Musk with Neuralink and he's building robots, right? We have artificial intelligence as a ChatGPT, Manus, et cetera, here on the forefront, right? So before even all this was really prevalent back in 2019, right? 2018, whenever Andrew Yang was running for president, along with Mr. Bernie Sanders, right? They said everybody should have universal basic income. Woo, 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 right? They dropped the little ear, they dropped the little seed into the soil, right? So here we are 5 years later, right? Here we are 5 years later. They're talking about AI is making universal basic income a necessity. So they already dropped it to you guys before AI was even prevalent like that, right? Boom. So they first dropped it. Now they're dropping it again, letting you know, hey, AI is going to be taking away y'all. I've been telling y'all AI is going to take away your jobs. This ain't nothing new. And I've been telling y'all should learn how to leverage security interests, how to leverage what's going on and learn your rights, right? And start a business and, buy assets and, et cetera, et cetera. Because the AI is coming for your jobs, especially if you have, you know, low level jobs, guys. So, anyways, they have been telling us in the movies, universal basic income is, or the AI is coming, right? They've been telling us about universal basic income, including Elon Musk, right? So, guess what's going to happen? They're going to print more money, and universal basic income will be here, right? And then Bitcoin will continue to skyrocket because they're going to have to pay everybody who's unemployed due to AI. Therefore, inflation will run rampant and Bitcoin will go higher. But Jeff Booth often says, right, with technology, everything should be getting cheaper, right? But we living in a backwards society, backwards world where everything is getting more expensive, even though technology makes things cheaper and better and more efficient. So make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Public Law 7310. Google this. If you don't know what Public Law 7310 is, go look it up. It's very important. Public Law 7310 is still in effect, codified in 31 USC 5118, 12 USC 411, 50 USC 40, 4305 B2. It confirms Federal Reserve notes are not backed by substance. What did we just look up? Federal Reserve notes. It's a promise to pay in the future, basically, whether or not Grok understands that. I understand that, right? It's a debt note, right? You can't pay if you're paying with a debt note, you obviously don't have the money to pay it now. By default, it's a promissory note. It's a promise to pay at a later time because it's a debt note. You can't pay a debt with a debt. You can't. Come on, guys. Common sense. Federal Reserve notes are not backed by substance, but by the full faith and credit of the United States. Backed by the full faith and credit. Private credit is lawful tender when used properly. You have private credit that you can utilize and use if you know how to use it and know how to tender and know how to do whatever it is that it's requiring you to do. The right to redeem in lawful money still exists. 12 USC 411. I went over that with you guys months ago when I told you to redeem your money that you've been paying in taxes, redeem it back in lawful money, get your taxes back. But nobody wants to listen, right? But hey, it is what it is. The public policy supports your position when tendering a private promissory note as lawful discharge. What did I just tell you guys? If they give you a promissory note and gave you a credit card, gave you a loan, gave you a car, gave you the house, then if they gave you a promissory note that you signed that says you promised to pay, which is actually itself covers and fully funds the actual transaction because again, it's all based on full faith and credit because there is no money because they took us off the gold standard. So they have to give us another way to satisfy the quote unquote obligations, aka debt. And how do you do that? By issuing commercial paper, right? Promissory notes, notes. It's all about notes. What's a promissory note? Bill of Federal Reserve note, right? These things are called notes. These are commercial papers, guys. When tendering a private promissory note, because you have the opportunity and option, like I just said, to privately tender a promissory note in exchange for what you've already, quote unquote, promised to pay, right? You already promised to pay, and then now they're charging you, right? Because you're not tendering payment or you're not fulfilling your obligation because you don't understand what's going on, right? Right? You should then, and you can, and by law, you can issue another promissory note and discharge the obligation. For an example, you get a loan for $10,000. You can either endorse it correctly the first time when you get it, pay to the order of yourself or the United States Treasury or the company, pay to the order of without recourse. You sign it properly the first time. If you're not able to sign it properly the first time, which none of us do, right? Then you're obligated, and you're obligated to the obligation. You have to perform or pay, right? And then what you can do, since you already signed it and you didn't know what's going on, what you can then do, they gave you a promissory note to sign, which fully funds the actual transaction, but now you're still paying, but because you don't know and because you're not performing correctly. Woo, woo, woo. So what you can do to set off or settle the obligation, you can issue another promissory note to settle the obligation or debt. It's literally that simple. And if they don't accept it, guys, it's discharged. They cannot collect per the UCC. This is the Treasury Direct account. How does the US government borrow money? Here's the government is here's where the government is different from individual people and businesses. The government borrows money. It doesn't go to the bank and apply for a loan. It issues debt, which means the government sells treasury marketable securities such as treasury bills, notes, bonds, and treasury inflated protected securities, right? And to other government agencies, individuals, businesses, state will go blah 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 blah, right? Or built on debt, guys. This is the kids version to break it down for the kids, right? How money is created or borrowed, right? I thought it was important to share that, so I shared it. Did you read it? Probably not. Too busy caring about other stupid things that don't matter. But you're listening here. You're listening now. Congratulations to you. Salute to you. Negotiable instruments. What's a negotiable instrument? I told you guys before, right? Check, money order, promissory note, bill of exchange, etc., etc. Every state has adopted Article 3 of the UCC. Every state. With some modifications as the law governing negotiable instruments. Unconditioned writing that promises or orders the payment of a fixed amount of money. Drafts and notes are two categories of instruments. A draft is an instrument that orders a payment to be made. An example is a check. I just said that, right? A note is an instrument that promises that a payment will be made. There's certificates of deposits or notes. Drafts and notes are commonly used in business transactions that finance the movement of goods and to secure and distribute loans. To be considered a negotiable instrument, they must meet the requirements stated in Article 3. Negotiable instruments do not include money payments, do not include payment orders governed by Article 4A. Trailing stop loss. No reason why you shouldn't have a trailing stop loss. Money isn't real. Absolutely. Ooh, this right here, crazy. This right here. If you get this, if you can get this, and if you can, let me see what Grok said. I don't even like Grok, but let's see what Grok says. I don't rock with Groks. I don't rock with Groks. We're gonna see what Grok has to say. Okay. I don't rock with Grok. Hey, big dude. All right, and I think that's gonna be it for today's call. But we're just gonna go over this last thing and then we're done. God is not a respecter of persons. I hear right here, God is not a respecter of persons. I already went over that. Person means individual, associated, partnership, joint venture, corporation, state, political. Boom. Um, and let's see. Good news of the kingdom, not religion. God, you're supposed to be. We're talking about the kingdom. We ain't talking about religion here. Let's see what this says. It's often linked to sovereign citizen movement, where claiming that all caps represents a separate legal entity or deceded estate created by the state tied to the social security number, which states allegedly controls it to the person files affidavit and this concept lacks legal grounding. Courts, including U.S. Supreme Court, have repeatedly dismissed for frivolous with cases like certain was affirming that these no, bro. This is exactly why you can't be asking. You can't be asking. If there's no estate, then what is the Social Security Administration doing with your Social Security number to pay you out at the end of your slave sentence to pay you out of the money that you've already been paying into the system? It doesn't make sense, right? It does make sense. What doesn't make sense is this. And what they'll do is they'll try to title you as this because you know how to read, and they think this is a derogatory statement when in fact there's nothing wrong with being sovereign. But it is what it is. So let me just clarify this right here. Deceded estate, because this is a legal fiction. A legal fiction by default is a dead entity because it's not a living person. So if you're operating a legal fiction, which is then considered a person, and a person is not a living man, and a living man is different from it's different, right? It's obviously different. That's why it's a legal fiction. Then therefore, uh, this makes perfect sense. But they're gonna try to. Yeah, don't let them trip you up, guys. Don't let them trip you up, guys. 'Cause that's what they want to do. I'll do one last thing here, and then I'm out of here. I'll do one last thing here, and then I'm up out of here. And then I'm gonna get up out of here. Get on up out of here, like, like brother Isaiah be saying. I'm gonna do one more thing, and then we gonna get up out of here. All right, we gonna get up out of here. All right, cool. Let me just go ahead and pop, 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 pop. Let's see what chat has to say. Using facts and conclusions of law, not no opinions, no nuances. Oh, matter of fact, I already got a check for that. Still here. I don't like this new. I do like it actually, but it doesn't answer how I want to answer it. It doesn't. It, false. Okay, Mr. Falsey. How about that? All right, here we are. Here we are. You have to. It's very nuanced in the way that this works. Okay, legal fictions, though recognized in the courts for the sake of process, are not regarded as alive in any lawful or jurisdictional sense. They are non-living entities brought into recognition for specific legal roles. Therefore, legal fiction is not alive. So if it's not alive, then what are you guys? If you're not alive, then what are you? You're dead. Okay. With that being said, Bitcoin Chris checking out. Have a great day. God loves you. I love you. Head over to swanbitcoin.com / Bitcoin Chris. Get your $10 for your Bitcoin. Set up automatic DCA. Also, head over to bitcoin-fiatdad.com. Get the new book. Okay. Or you can order it on Amazon. All right. Make sure you use your fold card. Make sure you use the fold card to ensure that you're getting as many Satoshis as possible. All right. And last but not least, ensure that you are. Make sure that you are, if you want to, join the private member association, where we're going to go over and help you out with a few things, right? Including the legal aspects of defending yourself and suing and estate planning, setting up a trust and asset protection, et cetera, right? Fixing your credit, getting business credit, starting a business, all that good stuff, right? We're moving into the private now, so everything's going to be privately done. Okay, so boom, that's that. And then last but not least, the course, of course, is available for you guys to take as well. So if you guys are interested in joining, if you join or take the course, then you will automatically be enrolled to the private member association. And then you'll have access to all the valuable information to help you out with whatever it is that you need help with. So make sure you guys go utilize and check out those things. And if you need help, don't, look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look these things up, guys. But also understand that you have to know what you're talking about, right? Don't take anything I say or ChatGPT says at face value. Go look it up yourself. But for the most part, eh, everything that I'm saying it makes sense to me. It's common sense to me, but common sense isn't really common. So it is what it is. But with that being said, I'm Audi, Bitcoin Chris checking out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit that like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.
Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah.
Running with country bass, country bass.